What's going on, people? George here. I haven't recorded in a little while, so I thought I'd upload a video. Obviously, with the time difference between the Americans and us, I've only really just recently got around to watching the UFC 200, so I thought I'd throw a video up. As a fight fan, I love my fighting. I watch the UFC, but I don't have an extensive knowledge on the UFC. So, I've somehow managed to get Sam O'Reilly, who's got hashtag Fight Talk. His channel will be in the link below. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to this sort of thing, and I've managed to get him over, so we're going to just have a few fights on UFC 2 and have a talk about UFC 200. So yeah, this is Sam. Can you say hello? Yeah, that's Sam. And yes, we're just going to have a few fights and discuss what we kind of watch, really. So obviously, the main event, Miesha Tate, Amanda Nunes. I'm going to be Miesha Tate, he's going to be Amanda Nunes, and we'll get into... Do you want to talk from main event down, or build it up and then talk from Kane and Travis Brown, or go from the main event first?
No, we'll start this one. Yeah.
All right, let's start with initial thoughts of the event itself. In your opinion, did it live up to the hype?
Underwhelming. For me, it was underwhelming. The fights itself, the prelims were good. I really enjoyed the prelims. Obviously, I sat and watched the fight past prelims all the way up to the main event.
The only prelim I saw was Kat Zingano versus Juliana Pena.
Yeah.
Of Pena getting a win, decision. I think that was a fair result.
Yeah, she did well. She clearly won 2 rounds, and you know, Kat drops down the list now of contenders. And obviously, you know, with this fight here,
Kat came in with a massive hype in that fight. Win that maybe a title shot was on the range, but. So yeah, getting back to the main event itself, was it Nunes fought very, very well, or Tate just... In my opinion, Tate didn't look as if she really wanted to be there. She looked not clueless, but it weren't the Tate we normally see.
The thing being, we all know the fast start that Amanda Nunes is. There's not many girls in the division that do what she does. She comes out aggressive and she tries to take your fucking head off. And
yeah.
We knew, listen, if I knew she was going to do that, Miesha Tate should know she was going to do that. But she caught her pretty early on, and from then, she was so hurt, her game plan was sort of out the window because she never shot for a takedown like I thought she would do. She just sort of tried to ride the wave, and, you know, she ended up getting taken down. And, it was more of a scramble.
Yeah.
Nunes landed her, got her back, choked her out. Well, I wouldn't choke her out. I think Tate was so hurt. You know, it
gave up the ghost.
I wouldn't say an easy way out. Yes, yeah, she didn't go out on her shield. When she beat Holly Holm went to sleep rather than tap.
She lived to fight another day, put it that way.
That's exactly.
In my opinion, what McGregor done against Diaz, McGregor knew he was in trouble. He could have maybe fought it a little bit, but he knew he was outclassed, outweighted. Maybe not outclassed, but outweighted, and wasn't fully prepared like he should have been. And that the submission, it was the easy out. Good work blocking that. Do you feel as if Nunes deserved to win it? I know it was first round.
Yeah, the 3 or 4 minutes that the fight lasted, she was the dominant one in the entire thing.
Yeah. Alright, coming off the back of that then, going down to the co-main event, Mr. Mark Hunt versus Mr. Brock Lesnar.
Huge uppercut misses. Big shot to the head.
Listen, I called it the week before. It was going to go one of 2 ways. It was going to be Mark Hunt landed and Brock Lesnar didn't like taking a punch like he didn't.
I put on Twitter that I love Brock Lesnar, but I wanted to see Mark Hunt walk away. I'm a big fan of Mark Hunt, a super Samoan, and in my opinion, he's quite. I love Mark Hunt, and I was praying for a walk away knockout, not because I don't like Brock Lesnar, I love Brock Lesnar, but I feel there's a lot of fighters, not just in that division, but in the UFC altogether, that put the work in. I know obviously Brock had to stop for medical reasons. I'm not going to try and pronounce what he had, but I have a rough idea. Yeah, there we go. But 5 years out of the cage, there's fighters that are in there every single day battling, trying to get somewhere, and he comes up, UFC 200, massive event. Well, on paper it's a massive event with what they had lined up. Obviously with McGregor doing what McGregor did, and Jones doing what he did. Anyone would have loved to fight on that card, and then Brock Lesnar just makes a phone call 5 years after being in the cage and says, yeah, I'll get the co-main event, it's fine.
Not only that, he also made 4 times the amount of any other fighter on the card.
Yeah.
And here's a nice
So,
He
like,
shot
made, he made
lands
two.
perfectly.
He made $2.5 million for that fight. You know, it's insane.
obviously
Here's
with
a
obviously
nice clean
usual.
shot that lands.
yeah. Obviously, with what McGregor done and John Jones done, I know in your videos on your channel you spoke about him at length. So I don't want to get into them too much because I don't really know what I'm talking about, whereas you do. But
Incredible striking
to me, it's kind of
on
disrespect that he
display
comes in, gets a co-main event on one of the biggest cards in UFC history, on paper potentially meant to be one of the biggest cards in UFC history, and gets a co-main event. So, but in my opinion, Lesnar took the punch. People say he can't take a punch. We saw that against Kane. He curled up in a little ball. Don't get me wrong, if someone the size of Cain Velasquez was punching me in the face, I'd probably do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But I think he shut up a lot of people with whether he can. Were they Mark Hunt's best shots? Maybe
No,
not.
they weren't. Listen, he got a big shot off in the third. He landed quite a big shot, but they weren't Mark Hunt. You know, Brock Lesnar, he was very smart. He fought very well, very intelligent. And listen, not only the man cuts to make the heavyweight limit. He is an amazing wrestler. He's an amazing athlete, and his ground and pound, he doesn't even have to load up. He can literally
Yeah.
couple of inches, and he's just
unload.
huge. The mass on the geezer is unreal. So, you know, his game plan was always going to be exactly what he ended up executing, and he looked good doing it. Looked good doing it. In a sense, he was matched very well.
Oh yeah, don't get it was a great. I enjoyed the fight. Again, like it was a good. It was one of them fights that went the distance, and you didn't mind watching it because anything could happen. That's one thing I love about the heavyweights. They're slow as fuck. Let's face it. Nothing spectacular is going to happen, but a flash knockout can come at any time because of the sheer power the guys have. So them sort of fights you enjoy watching go the distance because at any moment Mark Hunt could have got up and took Lesnar's face off. We all know it could happen. So it was enjoyable to sit and watch. Which brings me on to my the next fight, which was the biggest snore fest I've ever seen. But you can understand why DC done what he done with everything that happened. But before that fight, we spoke when I obviously didn't hear straight away what John Jones done or didn't do in watching what he was taking, what supplements he was taking. But to literally lay on someone for out of a 15-minute fight, to lay on someone for 12 minutes, it's as a fan, it's not what you want to see, really.
Yeah, I understand both sides of the argument. Donald Cerrone said something. He got a little bit of trouble for what he said about him, but he's apologised since. He called him a fag for the way he
Cowboy?
fought.
Yeah. The Cowboy, yeah.
Now, yeah, Cowboy Cerrone. I understand what he was saying. I think his point was there would have been no shame in standing with Anderson Silva and making an exciting fight for the fans. You know, Cormier obviously wanted to win the fight, but
is there a
people were
shame?
saying, listen, he could have made it more exciting for the fans if he'd have stood and traded with Anderson Silva, which is Anderson Silva's domain. He's more likely to lose
Of course.
than if he did what he did. He laid on top of him. He didn't really ever have Anderson in trouble, but he wanted to win. You know, he felt like
That's
why
what I was going to
Anderson's
say.
game plan. I don't know.
Obviously, he wanted to win. He wanted to beat the name. Is there a shame in your heavyweight champion losing to a middleweight that's come up? Is that what he was thinking, do you reckon? Or
Yeah, I'd imagine so. And he's fighting the best of all time. You know,
I think Mighty Mouse might have a little thing to say about that at the moment, but
Anderson Silva's the greatest of all time. Listen, he's done things no one's ever done before. His legacy may be tainted a little bit from what he's been doing in the last few years, the losses and so on.
oh shit, no.
Oh, I knew
I lost. Oh, Andrew Ryan, thank God for that. Yes, no, but Anderson is, like you said, I know you're a massive Anderson Silva fan. You're a
listen, he's done things no one's ever done before.
There it is again.
And he was the trendsetter.
Yeah.
People want to be like him, wanted to be like
Fair
him.
play for Anderson Silva stepping up. Was it 48 hours notice?
Yeah,
Phoning
he
down
got
saying, look,
600 grand.
oh,
He made 100 grand more
yeah.
than Daniel Cormier did.
That's mad.
So, listen, he was going to be in Vegas anyway. Why not throw in the shorts, be part of the biggest show ever, make 600 grand doing it?
Yeah.
You know, the only thing is, in my
We
opinion,
keep saying that the biggest show ever, it didn't live up to what it was meant to.
well, on paper, I'm pretty sure it is. That the fights don't determine whether it was the biggest
Yeah.
show ever or not. The actual
Obviously,
pay-per-view sales. And,
McGregor said it, didn't he, that that wasn't UFC 200. UFC 200 is what now going to be UFC 202, when it is Diaz versus
Well,
McGregor.
Conor would say that because he's an egotistical maniac.
But you gotta love the guy. That's the thing. That's the annoying thing. He's egotistical,
Some
but he's
people do.
Roundhouse kick
brilliant.
lands.
Where do you stand on the McGregor-Diaz situation? Do you think he should have gone down and fought Aldo for the main title?
Wow, what a back and forth exchange.
I've got a lot of problems with it. I understood it the first time round. He was due to fight Dos Anjos. The fight fell through, and he was brave and took a fight against someone 2 weights above him.
Yeah.
I don't get the rematch, and I don't like it. I don't. It's massaging his ego because he feels that he can get the victory. Do you know what? If I'm honest, if he goes out there and knocks Diaz out, I still don't care
That's a big right
because
hand.
he doesn't have a future at this weight, in my opinion. He could be a 2-weight world champion, which would be lightweight and featherweight. He's never ever going to make waves at welterweight. He's not going to beat Lawler. He's definitely not going to beat Wonderboy. So I don't get what he's doing it for. He's doing it because he can.
He's doing it ego
UFC
now.
pander to him. Yeah.
Because he lost to Diaz. Obviously, anyone that first little glitch on his. Obviously, he lost not amateur fights, but he lost like not main. Yeah, it would be amateur fights, I guess.
Nice shot.
No. He's lost in his pro career twice, mate. Before that.
Not for UFC.
Irish
though.
Joe Duffy. No, not in the UFC.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean
that's
amateur fight. They're professional fights. Joe Duffy beat him.
Oh, double jab. Oh, that's a big hit.
He's
So,
only lost
do
in
you
UFC
reckon the
before
only
that.
reason he's fighting Diaz again is literally for retribution?
Hard straight punch.
100%. And money. I mean, he'll
yeah,
earn money
of
no
course.
matter who he fights. But
Swing and a
more than
miss.
that, it's his ego. And I wouldn't be. Listen, I'm a big McGregor fan. I love what he does, and I love what he did to the featherweight division.
Oh shit!
Well, go to sleep, young lady.
She's out. She's out.
Good night.
Oh, I felt it. Not quite the same as the main event, but
Huge
You got 3 rounds in. You did well.
yeah. Yeah. So
But
you,
yeah, you know, I'm a McGregor fan. I loved what he did to the featherweight division. I love the idea of him trying to do it to the lightweight division. I don't like the Diaz rematch, and I don't believe after such a prolonged spell at welterweight, because that fight was a few months back, and then he's going to be staying there. I don't believe he'll ever defend the featherweight title. I really don't. I don't see him going back to featherweight. It's too much. He says he will. He says he still will, but I personally can't see it.
okay. So obviously coming off the McGregor-Diaz fight, you think McGregor's not going to do it. You reckon Diaz is going to beat him again. We'll move on to the Jose Aldo-Frankie Edgar fight. I'm going to be Frankie Edgar, you're going to be Jose Aldo this time. In my opinion, again, I found this quite a boring fight. Aldo
I can't understand it.
run away, kind of, in my opinion. He won on the jab. In my opinion, I don't know it like you do, and obviously you're going to tell me where I'm completely wrong, and that's why I've invited you here. But in my opinion, just as a fight fan, he won on the jab, and by that I mean jab, move completely out of the way, run away a little bit, jab. Yeah, he done more damage. Yeah, he won the fight. But to me, it was jab, run. This is where you tell me I'm completely wrong. And
You're wrong, man. Listen, do you know how dangerous Frankie Edgar is? Do you know what Frankie Edgar's done since the last Aldo fight? He's beat guys like Chad Mendes, knocked him out. Cub Swanson. He has been on a tear, mate. He's been tearing people apart. He's in as good as he's been since he was a lightweight champion. And Jose Aldo, I'm telling you now, Jose Aldo for me is still top 4, top 5 in the world. The difference is Conor McGregor got in his head, right? Now 13 seconds it looks bad and it's embarrassing, but it doesn't change the fact that he is one of the best out there. His speed, mate, he didn't have to take the guy's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and yet he never has to take the fight to the floor. That's how good he is. He's that good a striker. He's that well-rounded. He's just class, mate. His movement, I think it was just a beautiful
Obviously,
performance. He nullified Frankie Edgar, everything he did.
looking at it from that point of view, which obviously is the right point of view. Obviously, I'm the sort of fight fan. I just want to see an absolute tear up and just see people not get hurt. But going back to US Ultimate Fighter 1, Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner, the war them two had was. You're never going to have a fight like that again because they were both fighting for something.
You're not.
And
It's
but
a very-
as a fight fan, that's what you want to see every time people step into the octagon. Just an absolute war. Obviously, I understand there is a technical side of Ultimate Fighting and mixed martial arts,
Another hard body kick.
and I can see why Edgar done it. It's going back to the DC Spider fight. DC done what he had to do. In my opinion, I said this to you before, obviously, when we spoke previously. If it stands up, DC does not beat Anderson Silva.
No.
And if the same aspect, if Jose Aldo got inside with Frankie Edgar, I feel as if Frankie Edgar beats him.
Jose Aldo is on
He got inside where?
Into unleashing distance, I guess.
Nice strike.
That's why he stood back, jab, move, and fought smart.
Well,
If you-
Frankie Edgar's an amazing boxer. You know, his boxing ability is second to none. But the point of mixed martial arts is you got to be so well-rounded to be successful.
Yeah,
Now, Jose Aldo used most of his Muay Thai skills. He was out on the outside. I know what you're saying. Edgar didn't get close enough to be able to damage him, but
Beautiful jab by Jose Aldo.
that's to be able to do that for 25 minutes the way Aldo did. It's nearly impossible against someone as good as Frankie Edgar. Yet he did it with ease and made the fight look easy.
yeah.
Mate, Jose Aldo is still a beast, and he would give anyone problem. I want to see the rematch with Conor because I think he gives Conor a lot of ag when he
I
doesn't
think he
let
beats.
Conor
I
get
think
in
he
his
beats
head.
McGregor. I honestly do think he beats
Doing a
McGregor.
very nice job
For the simple
protecting his
reason-
head here.
That one punch knockout when they fought the first time, the only time should I say, it didn't reflect. I still feel Aldo went into that fight too emotional because of what was being said. For the featherweight division, Aldo paved the way. Everyone wanted to be Jose Aldo. Do you know what I mean? From what he's done and how good, obviously, you said he is.
Tried to time a straight right.
And
He is. That's
like,
how
I
good he
love
is.
McGregor.
I
Don't
believe-
get me wrong. I love McGregor and what he does for sport in and out of the octagon.
What a good
But-
round.
To me personally, he won. Like you said, he won that fight, McGregor, from mind games more than fighting ability.
Yeah, he won it outside the octagon. No doubt.
Will you think there'll be an Aldo Edgar
let's
3?
check out some of the
Or
action
do you
from
reckon
that
that's been put
round.
to bed now? And
And here's
unless
the-
obviously Edgar goes on a rampage again. Because think the last two fights Edgar's lost have
And
both
here's
been to Jose
another
Aldo.
clean shot
He
that
lost, went on this
lands.
rampage. Was it nine straight wins? No, not 9 straight wins.
Nah, it wasn't
And
9. I
another
can't remember
perfectly
exactly how
placed
many
strike.
it was, but
He went on a little
when they
tear.
fought back in, when they fought back then,
Really
he was coming
excellent
down from the
striking
lightweight
being
division,
displayed in that round.
where he's
Yeah.
been champion previously, lost the belt.
In, Go.
Yeah, it's just I feel sorry for Frankie Edgar because he's a world-class fighter, man. He
In-
is so good.
in my opinion, and in a dream fan world, obviously McGregor has to go after the Diaz fight, no matter what the outcome. McGregor has to go and face the interim champion for the featherweight title. So,
That was a solid round.
in a
The
dream
feeling
world,
out
you'd have Max
process
Holloway
really
versus Frankie Edgar for a #1 contendership. Because Max
Yeah.
Holloway,
with the solid
no, to me, Max Holloway. Max Holloway's gone on a little tear. He's won his last
No,
five.
I mean Frankie Edgar doesn't fight Max Holloway for number 10. He just lost to the interim belt, so that won't happen.
Yeah, but don't he get another shot at the cherry, do you reckon? Or
No, not now, not straight away. He's got to go in 2 or 3 fights there.
yeah. So you think of
What-
Max Holloway
what-
versus?
I want to see Max Holloway against Jose Aldo if Conor doesn't come straight back down.
He has to, like, because there's an interim title for a title. This is my opinion, obviously. There's an interim champion for a title where the champion's not injured. He's just, like you said, too egotistical and thinks he's bigger than the company and don't want to defend it.
But they let him do what he wants.
Are they going to
My
now?
concern
Obviously,
is, my concern is if he beats Diaz, yeah,
Moving to his left
he's
here.
going to
Yeah.
be back to the same person he is. And it wouldn't surprise me if they let him challenge Eddie Alvarez for the title. You know, down at lightweight, he just won the belt off Dos Anjos.
Yeah.
Although obviously Khabib Nurmagomedov wants the shot, and I think he deserves the shot, but he's injured a lot and he's very inactive. So
Yeah.
I could see a Conor and Alvarez fight for the lightweight title if he beats Diaz. You know, there's a lot of shit to sort out and a lot of things. It didn't sit right with me in the first place.
in
They
my
let him
opinion,
go
as a
up for that
fan,
and
going up one weight class and fighting for an actual title straight away, it's kind of a kick in the teeth for the people in that division that have fought hard to get where they are. And then obviously McGregor does what McGregor does. He's unbelievably good. He's undefeated. He deserved another title shot, but he already had a title. At least defend your title at least once before knocking on the door of others. Do you know what I mean?
You could hear that one.
That's just my opinion. He's won the title in spectacular fashion, 13 seconds, fair enough. But you got to at least defend that title once before you can be called an undisputed world champion. Yeah, he's the champion, but he's not undisputed because he's never defended it, in my opinion.
Well, this is Holly
You should
Holm.
only get the
Misha Tate,
title.
innit?
Yeah, you should only get the name undisputed when you've defended the title and you've won the title. Yes, you're the world champion, but you're not undisputed. You've not defended that title once. And that Misha Tate and Holly Holmes proved that they weren't undisputed champions because their first title defenses they lost.
Good jab by Edgar.
When you look at Ronda Rousey, she is undisputed, without a doubt, the baddest bitch on the planet. Like, there's no chance anyone's ever getting near her title of being the baddest woman in mixed martial arts.
That one connected.
Joanna Jędrzejczyk's doing a pretty good job down at strawweight, I tell you.
But again, that's another thing. We'll never see an undisputedness of Ronda versus Joanna or Joanna
Is that a
because of the
word?
weight. I just made it up. That's just a new word. That's I think it'll catch on. Undisputedness.
And he's got him down.
Obviously the weight difference, but obviously tapping into obviously talking about the whole event sort of thing. Joanna versus Claudia. I was praying Joanna lost. I don't know if I was the only one, but on The Ultimate Fighter, she was a dick.
Listen, she's nowhere near as good a coach, and I believe it came across that she's not as good a person as Claudia. I think she came across very, she's a bit childish in certain ways, and she doesn't like the fact that when she feels disrespected, but she's an amazing fighter, man.
Yeah, you can't take the fighting ability away from her. But that whole show, it shows not people's true colours. To me, it looks as if Joanna was very aware of the cameras
There he goes with a 1-2.
and was showing up a little bit. Because some of the things she was coming out with, if that was in the outside world, Claudia would have smacked her in the mouth. There's no two ways about it. The woman learnt Portuguese to call the woman she's a whore. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Big takedown.
it's a different level of rudeness. But coming off of obviously the Frankie Edgar Aldo fight, you think it was a fair result and that Aldo fought very well and very smart. I'm getting smashed the hell up. What the hell? Going into the first fight of the night, to me as a fan, was exactly what I was getting into earlier. Two warriors, two big ass dudes just going all guns blazing, and Kane seemed to me back at his best.
Aldo's in half guard again.
He beat a tough Travis Brown who's going on a little tear himself.
Look at that. Full mount.
And
Yeah,
Kane put a
it
stop
was a
to
good
him.
fight. It was a good fight. I mean,
Man, he's
yeah,
being
Kane,
tested, but
listen,
he's back up.
Kane should have been one of the most dominant champions that there's ever been now. But it's just he's so inactive. He suffers with a lot of injuries. He looked good. He looked good. I hope we see him again soon.
Yeah.
I just hope he can stay active now.
He got out of the choke.
But
Yeah.
he looked good though. He did look good. And, like, obviously Travis is a big guy, so he
Yeah.
had to close the distance, and he did it. He did it well.
What a beautiful
He's
trip.
very quick as well for a heavyweight, you know.
Who's that? Travis Brown.
Let's see what he can do from
No,
here.
Kane. Kane's quick for a heavyweight, and so he could close the distance.
He was throwing heel kicks, which you don't expect from someone of that size. Like, that was crazy. The first one, he caught an elbow when he threw it. Travis got his guard up well. And the second one was just whiskers. But
He lands an elbow here.
it's nice to see fighters like trying to adapt and trying to evolve and always learning. You don't expect to see
Nice
it.
hook.
You don't expect to see, not maybe technical, but outlandish and surprising things like that.
Snap that kick.
It's like when Anderson Silva threw the front push kick. You don't expect it, and that's what can sometimes win you fights.
Oh, and he goes
Oh,
up
you mean the
top
front
of
kick?
Yeah. Someone of that size throwing a kick like that, it's out of the blue. And but like I said, I love Cain Velasquez. I'm a big Cain Velasquez fan. I like watching him fight because, like you said, because of his speed, and that anything can happen at any time. And it's nice to see.
jab. That
Yeah.
eyebrow cut
So all
is
in all,
getting
you think
worse.
200, not necessarily a flop,
Aldo with the
but
inside leg kick.
didn't live up to
No,
the
I'd
hype
say
it was.
I'd say the fights on the main
And he
cards
connects here. Wow.
weren't
What a
as
back and
exciting
forth
as we
exchange.
possibly hoped.
Swing and a miss by Edgar. They go the distance.
Well,
And this fight will go to the judges' scorecards.
I'm keeping that in just because you said to cut it.
Jose Aldo's
But,
outstanding takedowns and the ability to to control
Well, I gotta keep it in, dude. It's right at the end of the fight.
It's
okay, everyone. Sam sneezed and he didn't want you all to hear him. He's very polite. I think I won this fight, by the way. I know we didn't really watch our game too much, but
What do you mean you think you won the fight, bro? Are you drunk?
no.
I don't know what you do with Travis Brown.
So what? Do you think Travis goes? To me, the only thing that sort of makes sense now for me, he goes and fights Ben Rothwell. They both lost their last fights. They were both on little tears. Both lost their last fights.
No, he wasn't. Kane wasn't on the tear.
Not Kane, no.
Before last
Travis
night,
Brown.
Sorry, Travis. Sorry. Before last night, he'd only won 2 of his last 4. Arlovsky beat him and Verdum had beat him. So he'd only beat Sharp and Mitrione.
You can't really count the
fights.
Verdum loss a massive loss though. Like he lost to the champion. Do you know what I mean? It's
He wasn't a champion at the time.
yeah, but he went on to become champion. So it's
Yeah, but it's a loss, so it doesn't matter. He's now lost 3 of 5. You know.
Yeah.
So maybe put him with Mark Hunt. That might be fun.
that would be fun. I think Mark Hunt gets to walk away on him though. Every fight Mark Hunt has, I want to see a walk away because Mark Hunt's the man.
Yeah,
Mark Hunt should be champion. Like, I love Mark Hunt. He's amazing. He's Super Samoan. I'm Team Super Samoan all day long. I love Mark Hunt. Just that knowing when you've hit someone that hard.
Match. You be Mark Hunt and I'll be Travis Brown. And I'll show you what Travis Brown would do to him.
Okay, cool.